Justin Trudeau's been prime minister for 8 years. Let's give him some credit, right? 3 elections, 3 election wins, went through a pandemic as well. But certainly, as you look at polls right now, there is a case to be made that Canadians have grown exhausted of Justin Trudeau and his government. With more on this, let's go to Tasha Kheiriddin, writer, commentator, media person extraordinaire. You can read her words in the National Post, GZero Media, and on her Substack. Tasha, welcome back to the show.
Oh, it's nice to be here, Elias.
I love hearing that your empire's growing. You're so close to having the set of steak knives, and if there was Tasha Kheiriddin steak knives, I would buy it. Trust me.
Oh, well, thanks. I'll give you a pen. There you go.
I'll take it. Tasha, listen, let's get to this, because on your Substack, I've seen you write about this both in English et en français, with a take on just Justin Trudeau, how he's doing, and also reasons why you shouldn't count the guy out. Let's talk more. What do you want to start off with?
Well, exactly that. I mean, lots of polls out recently showing that the Conservatives would mop the floor with the Liberals if an election was held right now. They're leading 38 to 25%, according to Abacus data. Main Street says 41 to 28%. And there's a poll aggregator, which shows that they are the most likely to form, if not a majority government. Mm-hmm. So looking good there, right? So what this means is, as I say, there's nothing as desperate as a desperate politician, and Justin Trudeau is facing that wall of desperation. So that means that the Liberals are going to have to pull out all the nasty stops if they really do want to hang on to power, if they want to turn the tide. It's not going to be done by playing nice. And so I basically lay out what I think they're going to end up doing and the places they're going to go to try and, as they say in French, sauver les meubles.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. And you kind of want to try and keep every seat possible. You brought up the poll numbers, right? And that I've seen, like Philip J. Fournier at 338 Canada say, this could mean 202 seats for the Conservatives, right, at those numbers. Then you go, wow, yeah, you really do need to sauver les meubles in a situation like that. So, listen, they say timing is everything. So let me ask you if Justin Trudeau should run out the clock to the next date when we should have an election, or if they should try and push this in some way where the NDP makes the government fall and you end up in an election sooner.
Well, there are some touch points where they could do that. The most obvious one is the budget in March, usually March anyway. And the other wrinkle in doing that, I didn't write this in this piece, but I just saw a piece, actually, speaking of 338 Canada, looking at the impact of redistribution of ridings, because the electoral map has been redrawn, as it is every decade, and it actually benefits the Conservatives in Ontario, it benefits the Conservatives in BC, and that map comes into effect in April, right? If the election's not held before April, then the map comes into effect, changes are made. So you're getting another indication that if they want to pull the plug, they'd have to do it then, because that would help them on that score as well. If they rag the puck and run out the clock, then it's anyone's guess. Mm-hmm. And he could just wait. I mean, this is what Trudeau could play the waiting game of seeing, what's going to happen with inflation, what's going to happen with housing. I mean, I think, honestly, things are not going to get that much better. Yeah. But he's also going to wait for another thing, and that's what I say is going to happen in the U.S., and that's the American election. And that's a very important piece for the nasty strategy, I think, that the Liberals might use.
And so let's expand upon that. What do you think they want to see for their own benefit?
Well, I think what they want to see, and like I said, the strategy, I detail three things they should do or could do to try and turn things around. And the last one is pray for Trump. Pray that Donald Trump wins the nomination. Why? Because that will allow them to then run a very nasty campaign and try and conflate the Canadian Conservatives with their American counterparts in the Republican Party. It's not an obvious stretch. There are certain similarities you can't deny, which is the demonization of the media, the populist rhetoric, the anti-elite stuff that the Conservatives here have been saying. That's straight out of the Trump playbook, and it's appealing to a same constituency of people who just they want to drain the swamp. Yeah. But the bigger picture is that the Republicans have gone very extreme on abortion restriction. There's a lot of conversation around cultural issues that is starting to percolate up into Canada. We haven't had it as much as the U.S., but it is around things like trans rights, around, all sorts of other LGBTQ issues, and restrictions on, the ability of affirmative action in the U.S., like stuff like that.
Culture wars. The culture wars creeping up here.
And they're coming. They're coming to the Conservative Convention, which is going to happen in a week and a half. There's several resolutions on the floor dealing with those issues, and people are talking about those issues. So the Liberals will try and wedge. They will try, if Donald Trump wins, and even if he doesn't, but I think mostly if he does, they will wedge and they will say, look, do you want this here? I don't know how effective that's going to be, but like I said, they're desperate, and desperate people do desperate things.
Talking with Tasha Kheiriddin. Let's continue our politics chat here, Tasha. Let's look at the other guy. Let's look at Pierre Poilievre because, and listen, we talked about this. I know you were in the Jean Charest camp. I was in the Jean Charest camp because I'm like, I don't want extremes, right? I'm such a centrist myself, right? But now I have to look at it this way. 41% of the polls, Pierre Poilievre has completely dominated the housing discussion in a good way. So what's your take, Tasha? Is Pierre Poilievre, is he doing it?
Right now he's doing it, and I think that it really, if they stick to their knitting on the economic issues, they can do it. And this is why I said, there's the danger, it's a weapon of mass distraction the Liberals will try and use to distract from that message, because the economic situation right now for many Canadians is dire. Poilievre has pointed out as well that in a couple of years, even more mortgages will be coming up for renewal. We're already seeing defaults. We're already seeing people, just selling their homes, and prices have gone slightly down in certain markets. And I think you're going to see more of that. And that anxiety, and the anxiety also of rent. Rent's another big one. Mm-hmm. The problem with the housing issue, it's very complicated because it's not just about building housing. I mean, that's, and that's where the simplistic stuff bothers me a little. It's like, oh, let's build more houses. No. It doesn't work that way. First of all, we're bringing in lots more people into this country constantly who need more houses. So how do you keep pace with that, or do you change that policy? The second thing is, building a house it's not so simple to say, let's just give permits and streamline that process. I've talked to developers and builders and people who work with them. There are issues around providing things like hydro. There's issues around infrastructure. There's issues that don't relate. You can get all the permits you want, but if those things aren't there because they aren't done fast enough, then you're not going to put up any buildings. And on top of that, with interest rates so high, there's not as much incentive to build, because especially for rentals, people are saying, well, why would I put this up? I'm going to have to borrow so much money at such a high price and then charge really high rents. And so it's a vicious circle, right? So you can't just say build, because you can't just do that. It's more complicated than that.
Let's end off, Tasha, where we began with Justin Trudeau, and how you view the fact, everyone says, and I'll agree with it, Justin Trudeau's a tremendous campaigner, right? So he gets into an election campaign in 35 days. He's a great campaigner, but certainly seems like Canadians are not happy with his choices, with how he's running the country. What wins out, Tasha?
Well, it's all in the timing. You said this earlier. He's got to decide whether, first of all, he stays or goes. And I'm not 100% sure he'll stay. I'm leaning towards he will, in part because politicians are, egomaniacs generally, and they never really often know when to quit. Brian Mulroney knew when to leave. When his approval rating hit 15%, he left. And I think that, he made the wise choice. He moved on with his career and his life, and he left, great things for Canada behind that he had done, and bonsoir, and that was good. Most politicians don't have that savvy. But maybe if Trudeau sees the poll numbers that low, because they are dropping, his approvals are dropping severely, he'll say also, I'm going to take a walk in the snow. But who picks up the slack? There's no obvious contender.
Okay, I have
None
it.
of them are.
Tasha, I have it. I just thought of it. Seconds ago.
Who?
So Trudeau resigns. He's leaving politics. Yeah. Jean Charest comes back and runs for the leadership of the Liberals.
Now you're talking like all those people last year at this time who were saying that he was a liberal and dumping all over us.
That's
okay,
right.
You know what?
Give the people what they want.
Quit while you're ahead.
Okay, Tasha, it's always great to talk to you. Be well and come back real soon.
Thanks. Okay, bye-bye.
That's Tasha Kheiriddin. You can read her words in the National Post, GZero Media, and, of course, on her Substack.